Connect to everything you love in life in a bold new way. Introducing BlackBerry Bold. As beautiful as it is powerful.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Brown. Welcome to the UBU Network podcast. As always, we want to encourage everyone to make each day a better day. This week, Don talks about muscle cars and Hollywood, discusses megapixel mania, and Dr. Kyle gives his view on the war on terror. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Indulge in rich caramels, chocolates, and mochas, guilt-free, with Natural Instincts. It's antioxidant-rich color, and the more often you use it, the healthier your hair looks. So you can satisfy your craving for color every month. Natural Instincts from Clairol, naturally.
Does the influence of Hollywood play a part in the cars we choose to drive? And with all the choices available, how do you know which digital camera is right for you? Don has the answers. Back in a moment.
In order for things to work, it doesn't mean it has to have an uncomfortable feeling.
Crest Pro Health kills 99% of germs that can cause gingivitis, plaque, and bad breath without the burn of alcohol.
It really feels like it's working without the burning.
Crest Pro Health Rinse.
Current gas prices, a sluggish economy, and new alternative fuel vehicles mean new challenges for the American auto industry that's known for its muscle cars and supersized SUVs. So what's Detroit doing about it? If you have to sell a car that's more expensive and less practical, who's better at the smoke and mirrors show than Hollywood? After all, TV's responsible for automotive legends like Starsky and Hutch's 74 Torino, the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard, and of course, the world's most famous Trans Am, KITT, from the 70s series Knight Rider. As younger generations of drivers grow up unaware of traditional advertising, and DVR gives them the power to skip ads altogether, automakers are turning back to product placement as a way to reach their audience. By casting cars as characters with personality and style, Detroit hopes to build a fan base, not just for the superstar cars you see on screen, but also for the automaker behind the scenes. Ford is betting that when you see its 500 horsepower Shelby Mustang starring as KITT in NBC's new version of Knight Rider, you'll find a new respect for all of Ford's line, even the 35 mpg Ford Focus. Here's my tech tip for today. If you're in the market for a digital camera, you've probably been balancing megapixels against price, but those shouldn't be your only considerations. Lighting and the camera's image sensors are on the input side and determine the quality of image a camera can capture. Like any piece of technology, balance is more important than height. Don't fall for the megapixel mania. Choose the camera that's best for you, based on its features and how you plan to use it. You'll find a list of some of my favorite digital cameras in the show notes. Until next time, I'm Dawn Whitaker.
Do we need to exhibit more compassion? Let's listen as Dr. Kyle discusses the war on terror, coming up next.
Sorry, miss. The girl can't help it. It's a Vlasic. Vlasic. That's the tastiest crunch I've ever heard.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Kyle. Since 9/11, our nation has been engaged in a global war on terror. This war led us to invade both Afghanistan and Iraq. Thousands have perished or been maimed by these conflicts. We have spent well over $500 billion on the war on terror. President Bush has identified our enemy as the evildoers. These evil ones are known as the Taliban or Hamas or Al-Qaeda. Here at home, we can only view this war on television, except for the inconvenient security checks at our airports. In so many ways, average Americans can go about their lives hardly noticing that this nation is indeed at war. Victory in this war will be elusive and difficult to define. And in all probability, we'll be waging this war, this so-called war on terror, for decades to come. We are certainly the target of terrorists, as the now absent Twin Towers constantly affirm. But the age-old question still remains. Is it better to fight this war with bread rather than bombs? Life rarely gives us the luxury of black and white answers. But I would contend that we could certainly benefit from more bread and fewer bombs. As we witness a global food shortage and a rising tide of outright starvation in Africa and parts of Asia, we must bear in mind that empty stomachs are the fertile fields where extremists plant the seeds of intolerance, fanaticism, and terrorism. It's time that America demonstrated more compassion for the poor and needy of this planet. If we were to be more interested in developing self-sufficient nations, we would begin to make more friends and insulate us from the indefensible charges of imperialism, decadence, and greed. Our enemies certainly understand that we are more than capable of defending ourselves. But this war just can't be won with bombs alone. It can be won if the world can see who we really are. We are a generous and caring people, imperfect, but not unwilling to change. We cannot win this war on the streets of Baghdad. The new battlefield of the war on terror will be fought in the hearts and minds of the world's hungry. While man cannot live by bread alone, he certainly cannot live without bread at all. Bread for bombs. I'm Dr. James Kyle.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed our podcast as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Remember the observation of William James, that the deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Until next time, I'm Cynthia Brown.